morning. Welcome to another Fast Tracks webinar. Webinars are hosted weekly on Fridays at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. To get to our webinars, you can go to our website at goftx.com. Go over to FTx Lifeline. If you go about halfway down the screen, you'll get to webinars. From here, you can register for upcoming webinars. You can view previous webinars. And you can also subscribe to get notified of upcoming webinars and other Fast Tracks news. So today we're going to go over using the Inactive Wizard in retail. All right, so first, to kind of just go over inactive items in general. In Director, if we go to Pricebook, we can look up an item. And under General Information, we can see we have an active checkbox. If I uncheck this and then go down and save the item, it's going to tell me I have quantity on hand. Am I sure I want to deactivate it? I'm going to go ahead and tell it yes. So this item is now deactivated. It's no longer active, it's inactive. Meaning that it's not going to be able to be sold at the registry. Not going to be able to do orders for it, receive it in. Anything like that I cannot do because this is now an inactive item. I can go over to the Inactive Items tab. And first I'll have to actually refresh the module. But now you can see the item I just made inactive shows up. So the second way we can actually make an item inactive is through mass updates. If we go to mass updates, we can then go over to additional utilities. And we have flag items as inactive. Now keep in mind, in mass updates, anything that is in this window is going to be marked as inactive if I do this. So you want to make sure you filter first. So for example, if I want to we'll just do cookies, cakes, and pastries here. So there's 225 items. I want to tell it to flag these items as inactive. I get the pop-up to ask me if I want to flag them inactive. I'm going to tell it yes. So now these 225 items are now inactive. Again, if I refresh my module, I go to Inactive Items. Now you can see I have a lot more items in here. Okay, so now let's take a look at the actual Inactive Item Wizard. So in the Inactive Items tab here, we come down to the bottom right, there is a Run Inactive Item Wizard. So from here, I have options. I can do check for inactivity for all departments, or I can do it for just particular departments. To save time, I am going to just select a department. Let's just do generic cartons. I have an option to send the inactive items to a department. So in this case, I've actually set up a department that's called Inactive. If I select this, then anything that I get from the Inactive Wizard and I mark inactive will be moved into that department. I can also set the tree view to inactive to where it doesn't show up in the tree view and mass updates. As far as what we're going to evaluate, we can do no sales activity, which is sales, returns, voids, or cancels. No invoice activity if the quantity on hand is currently 0. And if there's no positive inventory activity, such as cycle counts, spot checks, or physical inventory where the item was flagged as actually being counted. We're going to check all of these, so all of this criteria has to be met before it will be added as an inactive item. I said how many days I want to look at. By default, it's 180 days. With all this said, I just tell it to run the evaluation. So it tells me that it found 116 items that should be flagged as inactive. So here's all of my items. By default, they're already checked with the flag being set to inactive. So to finish it up, all I'd have to do is flag checked items as inactive. That would set all 116 of these items to an inactive state. Once I click on the button, it asks me if I want to set these as inactive. I tell it yes. So I flagged all those items as inactive. I refresh my module and go back into my inactive items. As you can see, here are some of the items that were in that list. The Durrells, Monarchs, all those were now flagged as inactive. So they're no longer active in our Pricebook. That pretty much covers the inactive wizard in retail. I hope that you learned something today. Remember, webinars are weekly on Fridays at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. And you can go to our website to get signed up for those. Thank you, and have a good rest of the day.